Alright, so now I'm going to go over the answer keys for tests A and B for writing equations. Each problem was worth 3 points, basically getting a point for having the correct form, the correct slope, the correct y-intercept. If it was standard form, were you able to get A, B, and C correct? If it was a vertical or horizontal line, did you identify that it was x or y equals in the equation, the zero slope versus the undefined slope? So you'll see points anywhere from -3 to -2, -1, even -1/2. Typically -1/2 is if you have a negative sign error. So let's start with test A. Question 1. We know that we're given a slope of -3 and it has to go through the point 4, -7. So we plug in our 4 for the x, our -7, making this a +7 in point slope form. We're going to simplify by distributing the -3, and we get y equals -3x plus 5. Question 2. Write the equation of a line that goes through the point -7, -2 with an undefined slope. Undefined slope means that it is a vertical line, meaning that it is an x equals equation. Our x value in this corner point is -7, so x equals -7 is all you need to write. Write the equation of a line through the points 6, -4 and 4, -3 in point slope form. So first we need to figure out our slope. Remember, it's y minus y over x minus x. So -4 minus a -3 becomes -4 plus 3. We get 6 minus 4. Simplify that. We get that our slope is -1/2. I can use either one of these points to plug into the point slope form, and you will get both of these as your solution. Write the equation of a line through the points 8, 7 and -1, 7 in standard form. Well, when I solve for my slope, which is the first thing I need, I find that I have a slope of 0. Slope of 0 means that it is a horizontal line, which means it is y equals a value, and we just use the value for y that is in both of our points, y equals 7. Rewrite the following equation in slope-intercept form. So I need to get y all by itself. I subtract x from both sides, then I divide both sides by 5, and I get y equals -1/5 x plus 1/5. Problem 6, rewrite the following equation in standard form. Means I need to have x and y on one side of the equal sign. The coefficient of x cannot be negative, and we cannot have fractions. So I subtract 1/7 x from each side. And then I got to get rid of this negative fraction. So I'm going to multiply everything by -7, which leaves me with x minus 7y equals -56. For number 7, write the equation of the line that's parallel to y equals 5. That's a horizontal line, so I need a horizontal line to be parallel that goes through the point 8, -3. For horizontal line, it's a y equals equation. The y that it needs to go through to make it through this point is -3. Write the equation of a line parallel to this equation and that goes through the point -2, -5 in standard form. In order for it to be parallel, they have to have the same slope. Well, the slope on this one, when you simplify, is 7. So I will use 7. I then plug in my point, -2, making this a +2, -5, making this a +5. I simplify by distributing the 7 to everything inside the parentheses. Then I subtract 5 from both sides. Then I'm going to move the x to the other side of the equal sign, so x and y are on the same side, but that leaves me with a -7. I need to deal with that negative to be properly in standard form, so that my answer is 7x minus y equals -9. For number 9, write the equation of the line perpendicular to y equals -x plus 12. That goes through the point 1, 9. Well, again, I want my slope to be 1. Because this one is -1, perpendicular to that, flip my fraction of -1/1, I get +1/1 with my opposite reciprocal. So I have a +1, plug in my slope, -9 minus 1, simplify, I would get this, but it asked it to be in point slope form, so the final answer that you needed is just this part. Right here is not needed, this is needed. It asked in point slope form. For number 10, we need to write the equation line perpendicular to this equation that goes through this point in slope-intercept form. Well, Perpendicular means, again, I need the opposite reciprocal. My slope is -2, so the opposite reciprocal is positive 1/2. I plug in the values from the point, -15 plus 4. I simplify by distributing my 1/2 to everything inside the parentheses, add 15 to both sides, and I'm left with y equals 1/2 x plus 17. That is it for the answers to test A.